Hey everyone, this is a kind of a somewhat of an unusual recording today for a couple of reasons. One is I want to introduce you to a new co-host, Greg Anderson, who's on with us now. Hey Greg, how are you?
I'm well, Simon. Thanks for having me here today.
The second piece is a name change. Previously, our platform and our channel was called Experts Uncut. We're shifting that to Executive Edge with some feedback from someone called Arlen Hamilton, who is very well known and fantastic person herself, who also has her own show, who gave us some advice on the name, like who is it for? What does it mean? What are some of the inputs and insights that people will be getting from your channel, and a bit of a name change there. So making that shift. But as we did that, Greg came on board. He's a new partner at Tenzing. It's fantastic to have him as part of the family, and he's now jumping in as a co-host. So every couple of weeks, we will be releasing new interviews with new guests, and you'll see Greg as one of the interviewers as well as myself. So we thought, hey, why don't we just do a quick recording to introduce Greg and the name change at the same time? And that's what we're doing here today. So Greg, again, like super stoked. Very excited to have you as part of the partnership and the team, and obviously for you to take on a co-host role here as well. But who's Greg? I think people might be quite interested to know a bit about that. So let's dive in. Where did this all start, right? Before you got into leading procurement organizations and, being a senior advisor to clients around the world, how did things kick off?
Yes, thanks. So my career began, so I'm an engineer by degree, actually a ceramic engineer, which is rather nichey, but I think it's a much more popular degree today than it was when I started many years ago. But I began my career with PPG Industries,
Okay.
and that was back when PPG was a producer of glass as well as coatings and performance materials that they are today. So I was at a flat glass plant in Meadville, Pennsylvania, and producing glass that ultimately ended up in automobiles. And I worked there for a couple of years, and then I transferred to North Carolina to a fiberglass facility there. That was a 1,500 person, very large plant. It was basically, we made the fiber, melted the glass, and made the fiberglass. And the back end of the plant and the front end of the plant looked like a textile mill. So we made a lot of products out of fiberglass, reinforcement products that went into B2B type sales there. So after I was there for a while, I had the opportunity to join GE, and I came back to Pittsburgh, where I live today, and took a job running a number of different glass furnaces there. Made all sorts of different types of glass, amber glass, black light blue that you see at Spencer's Gifts, but mainly was producing a lot of components that went into GE's light bulbs back when GE still made a lot of incandescent and your everyday light bulbs.
Cool.
Yeah, worked there for a number of years at that plant in Pittsburgh, and then I was fortunate to get my own plant up in Cleveland. It was a ceramics plant where I was making components for high intensity discharge lamps that you see outside. If you look at those giant bulbs, there's actually in the middle, there's an arc tube in there that holds a gas, and you're basically capturing lightning in the bottle. Best I can say is the plant I was running, we were making the components for that bottle. So we would make
Okay.
a ceramic tube and then some plugs that went in the end of it. And then that ultimately went to a lamp plant where they fabricated the final products there. So that was an interesting job. And I was making ceramics, a number of years out of college. So yeah, that was the early part of my career. First about 10 years was all in manufacturing.
Very cool. And you spent some time at Tenzing as well, right? In the past. Tell us a bit about that. When was that? Was that 10 years ago?
It was about 15 years
Okay.
ago. So yeah, when I left manufacturing, it was to join a company known as Free Markets. And I think a
Okay.
lot of our listeners might recognize that company in Pittsburgh. I had a real passion for the internet, and what I saw was the potential of the internet. And that was my way in. And I was able to come back to Pittsburgh, which was a personal goal for me and my wife to get back to Pittsburgh and raise our family here. So I took this job, and that's where I met Tom McLeod and Bill Angeloni, who founded Tenzing ultimately. And then I connected up with them a couple years after we had all left free markets. And I went in a business development role, but also ran delivery for a number of key engagements that Tenzing had then. And ultimately, I loved working there, but I was at the point, we have 4 children and they were very busy with their lives, and I didn't want to miss a lot of that part of their lives. So I elected to exit Tenzing very amicably, work that out with Tom, and went on to join a software company that I ultimately ended up running. But now, 15 years later, I have returned back to Tenzing, and it's great to be back working with the team again.
Awesome. Yeah, we're super stoked, as I said. Well, I think it was good to learn a bit more about who is Greg, but people will be seeing a lot more of you. And, it's been fun planning out the guest lists, right, and the schedule and, and the types of people that we want to have on and the people that have already signed up and the recordings that have been done and the editing process and stuff like that. So we'll be sharing more of that in the coming weeks, and then getting a bit more of regularity to the recordings being published between the two of us. So yeah, excited for that to happen. And again, name change, Experts Uncut, no longer Executive Edge is the new branding. So you'll see that plastered all over the channel coming pretty soon. So, all right, perfect. Thank you, Greg.
Hey, thank you, Simon. I appreciate the opportunity to share my background and look forward to the future episodes and talking with some great guests.
All
Thank you
right,
very much.
awesome. Let's do it.